is going on, everyone? Welcome back to The Climb. Joining me once again, Brissy himself. Welcome.
Hello. How we doing?
Doing great, Brissy. I'm X-Ray as always. And joining us this week is a legendary, the prodigy rookie, the guy who's been running the bot lane recently, besides Rob. The man supposedly to break Soulpan's curse, Mr. Array. How you doing, sir?
What's up, everyone? I'm doing great. Just got out of a comp game, so
Did you win?
feel it in my hands. Of course, I
Okay,
subbed.
good.
I subbed for the summit team. Of course, we won.
So, I'm going to start this off with actually a really big question. Are
Sure.
you better than Rob?
No, I'm not delusional. I'm like delusional when I'm in game. I'm not better than Rob. I just have a certain play style that he doesn't, I think, and I play a lot of different champions. But if you said Silva,
Oh,
um,
okay. Are you better than Silva?
no, but I am winning right now.
True.
That is true. That is true. So, well, let's ask you a really important question. So this is your rookie season. So how did you get introduced to some of these sports?
Um, Great question. So I was on the League of Legends Scrim Discord, and me and my friends we used to play CLOL together, and I've been out of college for about a year and a half, and we wanted to look for another league to play in, right? And we were gonna play in the Blue Otter League actually. I don't know if we have beef here with the Blue Otter League, but
PPP is
uh,
in the Blue Water League.
Yep.
okay, I gotcha. But we were looking to just join as a team, but a lot of work issues. One of our players got a new job, so he was unable to make nights. So I mean, I was like, man, I still have all this time. Oh, look at this. Somebody messaged me to join this league. And that's how it all started. I was like, that's fun because my school used to have like a something like this anyway, so
So
very familiar.
you just found a random Discord named Summit Esports, and you were like, "Yeah, I'm gonna join this one. Sounds cool."
Hey, y'all were advertising.
That
Oh,
is
that's
true.
hype.
That is
Yeah,
hype.
there you go.
We were advertising, dude. That's
I
sick,
remember
though.
exactly how it happened because I asked if my friends could play with me, and they were like, "No, it's a draft league." I'm like, "That sounds fun, anyways."
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Sorry.
We love it.
Sorry.
Yeah, your advertising's working.
Yeah, it's working. But we're glad you're here. You're making a big stride here in Summit Esports. Your team is sitting at fourth place right now with 14 points, only a point behind the three-way tie for first right now. So
Should
they've-
should be 17 points, but
whoa,
it's
whoa.
okay.
Okay, where's this extra 3 points coming from?
You would have to be at 12, it seems.
Oh, huh.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure we actually won that series very easily. So
Debatable, yeah.
debatable, debatable.
We
Okay.
didn't have full power, we didn't have vents.
Oh, well, yeah, good. We don't want you at full power. So,
Yeah.
but
Let's see what happens. Playoffs are coming up. Very
playoffs
true.
are coming up. So let's head
Quick.
into our week 7 games. So starting off, we have Crayola Consumers versus Roblins Goblins, and I would say this is actually a pretty big upset, though. Crayola Consumers taking the win over Roblins Goblins. However, Roblins Goblins was not at their full strength. They did not have Dean, which is a bit unfortunate. Just due to scheduling issues, there was a lot of drama about it. So they actually subbed in Array for support.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Unheard of in
yeah.
Summit.
Unheard of, subbing an ADC to play a support role.
Hmm. I think I have talked to Rob about it, but I do off-roll support pretty well. I play a lot of solo queue, and I get filled support maybe 30% of my games, and I don't really get gapped support like that. I don't think it's a hard role. Honestly, I'd be GM if I played support instead of AD carry.
Fair enough. Yeah, and I honestly think CC. I think their comps were just really well built out. I
Mhm.
mean, once again, Owen, and I mean, My Hot Daddy also had a really good series as well on the
Mm-hmm.
Nocturne once again.
Yeah, for first game, he popped off real hard.
Yeah, and for some reason, I don't know why, but you guys just didn't ban the Swain either game. It's like Red Ranger's like most played in the bot lane, besides Jinx.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, okay, cool, whatever. If that's what you guys want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, pretty close series. Array, share your thoughts.
I think a lot of misconceptions going around about the game because it's like, there's a 100%. The Crayola consumers were at 100% for sure, and Rob Goblins were probably at like 70% of their power. I mean, when you sub in like your best player possible, and the next best thing you have is somebody that's, let's be honest, not really that comparable, it throws the whole dynamic off, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that alongside of like technical errors in the game, you know, I think game one, Rob Goblins, they didn't know their win condition, and we made. I'm just saying we at this point because I played, but very uncharacteristic, forceful plays when all we had to do was sit there and chill, you know. But I think game two was a lot closer because we recognized that,
for sure.
and we made plays across the map, and decided to scale out. I think it was just the game was a lot harder since Dean wasn't there to make all like the micro macro calls and everything like that.
So, I will say I did watch game one, and I just happened to look at the Discord. You guys were all deafened in the first game.
Yeah.
So, did you guys undeafen the second game, or?
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure. Because we had so many like miscommunication issues that aren't. I don't know how they do it, to be honest. This was a really great insight because I was like sitting there deafened, listening to music. I'm like, I don't even know why I'm here. Like this is like I don't know how they do this. And they played very well for a very long time, mute deafened. So like I kind of got a newfound respect for it. But the second game, you could tell it got a lot clearer and like it became harder for the Crayola consumers to play because we had the comps, for sure.
Yeah. Brissy, your thoughts?
I mean, I'm not going to speak on this game really at all just because I didn't watch it. And, I mean, I think these are two really strong teams. Both teams will be in the playoffs. And I think that with Dean coming back, obviously no shade to Array. He talked about it already.
I tried.
But, yeah, I mean, he did his best trying to fill in for a guy who's pretty much top of the league on the support role. But I mean, when it comes to titans like Owen and Rob, I mean, it's kind of a clash of the supporting cast and how each of those different roles across the map are going to play against each other. So I'm excited.
They had really strong solo lanes.
Yeah, and so I'm really excited to see how both of them perform when it gets down to the wire in playoffs.
Yeah, so let's actually look at the remaining schedules for both of these teams. So, Crayola Consumers, I'm actually looking at the whole rest of the schedule. And so, Rob, he essentially plays against, so he played against Lord Kobayashi, which is like middle of the pack top laner. But then he plays Riven player, and then he plays Injustice. So he plays like the third best top laner, and then the fourth best top laner. So, Owen, I mean, like I said, I mean, he has showed out in almost every single game he's played in the top lane. So it's like, I mean, that's to be expected of him because of his past history. But I am very envious because it's like Elend Entourage is no pushover in my opinion. I think they're definitely one of the most balanced teams just with their roster and everything like that. SMD, though, I mean, they did get a win over Beaver Brigade this week. Or, sorry, they won a game but didn't win the series over Beaver Brigade. But I'm worried about how that will influence the rest of the team, like team synergy. Because, I mean, they only got 2 more weeks to go before playoffs. So we'll see how they can kind of shape up before it heads into there. And then Roblins Goblins, I mean, GKC and the Bendables, I mean, GKC, I don't think this is a pushover game at all. I think GKC is scaling extremely well. I think they're actually playing really well. But the Bendables, I think this one will be a much easier game for Roblins Goblins to win.
Mm-hmm.
And then, all right, let's hear your thoughts.
Yeah. For the Crayola consumers, they have to play my team, and I think we are also scaling. You know, we had a couple rough series, and it happens. It's regular season. You're gonna have a few issues, few hiccups there and here and there.
Yeah,
But
just a
I'm
couple rough series. It's all right.
or sometimes people call it lucky series. I mean, if
Okay.
whatever copium you want to sniff today, but
I sniff a lot of copium.
but I mean, I think Savage Mongoose Dynasty will be an easier game for them. Just because they're finding new places and new roles to play. I know he's doing really well on AD carry, but he doesn't have as much impact as some player like Owen will have. So, and that's a great cat. Um, and on the Entourage, it's like everywhere else seems to be a lot harder for them to win through. It's really reliant on their solo lanes. So it's basically, but it's gonna be like Owen's brain versus me and Soulpan's brain and Vince's brain now. So it's like I back ourselves there to win that. But for the Rob Goblins, I actually think the GKC game will basically be determined by whoever wins the first game. Um, Whoever wins the first game, I think GKC might have a tendency to overthink, and if they lose the first game, they're gonna probably think something really wild in draft, and it's just gonna make them lose the game too. Like they might lose confidence in their picks. But I think it'll be a close series. I think it really depends on whoever wins the first game, because that's just like that sets the tone. And then who they play last? The other
Bendables.
team, the Bendables. I think that one's a little more one-sided. The Bendables they're a really strong team in their own rights, but they have hiccups. They have individual issues, but I think that they excel in is playing as a team. So if they'll be able to get their team play off, I can see them maybe taking a game here, but I don't see them winning the series.
All right, Brissy, let's hear your rebuttal of
Well,
your game in this series for next week.
as far as GKC versus Roblins Goblins goes next week, I will say that in the past, well, actually, I wouldn't even say in the past really. I mean, I think we've had 3 series go, all 3 games. The rest of them have been kind of clean 2-0 sweeps. I think even with a bit of an implosion that we had in the series against the Academy, and that was a 2-0 sweep. I think we have a really good idea as to what our strengths are. I think even with losses, I'm going to give credit to both Gawr and Neversaw. They are incredible leaders. I think all of our team is just extremely level-headed, really hard to tilt. I mean, like that implosion I'm talking about was off of one single play we made in a game that we won. And that was just kind of a disagreement, just kind of trying to make ourselves better going deeper into the season. So Roblins Goblins is an insanely good.
If we had Mid Too Easy, just saying.
Yeah. He's on that copium constantly.
I know, man.
But got to give credit to Roblins Goblins. I mean, they're a pretty well-rounded team, and with them getting Dean back, it is going to be a little bit scary. But I think Heiko and Saucy Chas will be able to at least hold their own better than some of the other bot lanes that have gotten kind of stomped by those guys. But it's we'll just have to see.
It'll be a close game. I think it's definitely a highlight match of the week. It's debatably who's going to get first. It's definitely up there for like who's in the top 3, like the best of the top 3. So that's a really fun game.
All right.
Just really good tests for how playoffs are going to go. I think the rest of this season is really just it's going to be more experimental for some teams to see what works and what changes they can make going into playoffs.
For sure.
Yep. All right, and let's move on to our second series, SMD versus Beaver Brigade. Super close series. Super close series, actually. I mean, SMD taking game 1 in a very dominant fashion. However, Beaver Brigade, the next 2 games, comes out swinging extremely hard. And I want to give a big shout out to World Soup.
Yeah, bro.
He had a
That
phenomenal
guy.
2 games on the Nico. Incredible,
That
Mhm.
like
guy.
flanks with the R, like the protobelt. Like, it was like R protobelt, and he would like hit 3 people almost every time, or hit the major
Mhm.
Oh
people in
man.
every team fight. And
Yeah.
like World Soup just had a phenomenal series. The other person I want to talk about is Dunk. This guy didn't even die this series.
Yeah. Did not die.
Did not die.
He's crazy.
Had 0 deaths, and I was like, how is this guy this cracked? And he's playing against. Supposedly was the number 2 top laner, but now is the number 3 top laner, in RP3, and it's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Like,
It's tough. So I cast this series with Pyrosis. I will say SMD severely outdrafted Beaver Brigade in game 1. I think that was kind of the
Oh, yeah.
one that was the one thing. The Singed pick top. I mean, I know Dunk he went 7-0 and some assists that game.
I think it was 9, 7-0 and 9.
But as far as the team fight and even Asian Jason, he had like he was up 5-0, I think 15 minutes into that game. So I mean, it was theirs for the taking, but the scaling for SMD was just far superior. The team fight far superior. So that was it was just a really good draft by SMD. But as far as game 2 and 3 went, yeah, I think World Soup had probably the largest impact in game 2 and 3 as far as him absolutely carrying the team fights.
And it
Yeah.
was the same
and with
matchup
Dunk,
too. Is the crazy part,
right?
Like
Yeah.
they picked Ari into him again after game 2, and they were like, "Yeah, just run it back." And World Soup was like, "Say less."
Yeah,
I
it's
kind of
it's
like that
crazy.
though. I like that. That's the thing I was talking about with the GKC game coming up. I was like, I don't want my players to always be like, they lost on a pick, so now we can't play the pick at all. You know,
Hmm.
they're like they felt confident enough to run it back even though they lost on it. So I think that goes to show like Foster was very comfortable. And honestly, for giving a shout out, Foster played really well in that LeBlanc game 1. I think
Well,
he took this team over the edge
I think
to
that's
get
his like
that
most
first
played.
victory.
I'm pretty sure. Like Foster's most played. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure.
I was very impressed by it. And then I looked at his rank. I was like, no way.
Yeah,
Ain't no way.
that guy's got some mechanics on LeBlanc for sure.
Yeah. I mean, that was one of the better performances I've seen from someone just coming out of the blue. Like, for sure.
But I think I don't know. SMD is going to run into some problems if they can't figure out what their problem is. I mean, apart from draft, I think they got outdrafted heavily in games 2 and 3. I think again, I mean, I think we say this every week, but they need to find their identity. Foster showed extreme promise on being their carry. But if RP3 is going to be going up against these, higher tier top laners, it's going to be really hard for that team to get him far enough ahead to solo carry games.
Yeah, one of the big things I saw that series was I feel like Riven Player 3 could have maybe dropped the ego a little bit and played more of a supportive champion because his team was winning a lot of the other areas in the map. Foster was definitely carrying through mid game 1. He wasn't even necessarily doing bad game 2 and 3. And then Nico was doing really well game 2. So, like, I think if he had more of a supportive pick there and didn't try to just, oh, I got to beat Dunk.
Right.
That guy's the GOAT. Like, which he is, by the way. I'm huge fan of Dunk. That guy is crazy. But,
he played insane.
it's definitely like an identity crisis, like you said. And I've talked a little bit to a couple of members on the Savage Mongooses. I think also putting Nico towards a more carry style picks, like instead of the Senna, he needs to play something like his Jinx. I mean, he's Masters 250 LP and he's going 8-1 on Jinx and solo queue. I mean, just pick it. You know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. And let's go ahead and look at the remaining schedule of these 2 teams. So first off, we have SMD. So with their loss to Beaver Brigade, they are now sitting at tied for 7th, which is 9 points with the Bendables. So SMD is playing Crayola Consumers and then Gawr's kindergarten class. And I'm gonna be honest. This is gonna be a tough schedule because you essentially
yeah.
were playing against Dunk, or RP3 was playing against Dunk. Now you're playing against Owen. So this is not super easy for RP3. So like we said, or sorry, like what Brucey said, is we would like to see RP3 actually take a more supportive style into this game, especially this game. I would say is like, yeah, I mean, losing a little CS, but you're not gonna ego check this guy. Owen is way too good at this game. So, and then GKC, I mean, I can see
Going head to head with the king, man. He's gonna have a problem.
yeah, he's going head to head with the Solo Bolo King. Now, I'm gonna let you know if Brissy solo kills Revan player, it will haunt
That's
him.
boom.
Yeah, he is. It
That's
will haunt
boom.
him for the rest of his life.
Two things are gonna happen. He's gonna ego the hell out of me, and then if that doesn't work and he's not able to secure an early kill, I fully expect to see so much dog top lane majority of the game.
Yeah. One thing I do want to add though.
Hey, come top. We're diving top right now. It's like you have 3 minions under his tower. It's like I don't care. We're diving top.
One thing I do want to add to this is if Asian Jason keeps playing like how he's been playing,
that guy's
Beaver Brigade. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like I don't blame SMD for that loss like that. You know, like he's been playing really out of his mind, and I would say the jungle pool that SMD is playing against is a little easier, for the next 2 games. So, I think finding a way to win through jungle might be another keystone victory there.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree.
Interesting.
I think Casey has had a bit of a rough time the past few weeks. I mean, and that's not completely on him. I mean, the laners have kind of been. I mean, they did a lane swap from Nico going from mid to bot. So, I mean, they had a really easy series against Fraudwatch. Can't really, expect much other than a win.
Yeah.
But immediately jumping into a series against Beaver Brigade, who is on an insane hot streak right now.
Oh yeah, they're looking phenomenal. I didn't mean like GKC's jungler is like a silver player. No, I just think the match is a little more even, like with the play style. I think the play style of player is more of so much dog speed compared to an Asian Jason who's always active.
Hyper aggressive.
So like, yeah. So I think he'll be able to breathe a lot more in these series, and if they are to win the series, I think he'll be through so much dog getting things done on his terms rather than the other jungler's terms.
Sure.
I don't know if I completely agree with that, but I don't have a rebuttal, so I'm not going to argue. So
no, I'm saying what if scenarios,
Yeah, a lot of what ifs, and then like you said, Beaver Brigade on an extremely hot streak. They have one tough game for week 8, but then are going to take a little bit of a break week on week 9. But they're playing Elend
break week.
But yeah, they're playing Elend's Entourage, so this is gonna be a big test for them, I think. So I mean, I can't remember who they played week 6, or no, they played Roblins Goblins. That's right.
They did.
Yeah, so they played.
They
Roblins,
took the dub.
Yeah, and they got the dub, and then now they play SMD. Now they're playing, I guess, right now the 4th best team in Elend's Entourage. But I mean, I'm interested to see how Agent Jason faces off against Sopan, just because like we have been seeing like a lot of these players doing really poorly into Agent Jason. So we'll see what they got, and then
I think word on the street is those are the top 2 junglers in the league right now.
That is true. That is
Yeah.
true. Community power rankings.
I'm still a Ryan fan, but I think it's clear right now that at least the couple last performances that Asian Jason's definitely took a shot up in the rankings.
I think I always ranked him 2nd. So, but we'll go ahead and move on to our 3rd series. Gawr's kindergarten class versus the Krusty Trap, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't have a whole lot of words for this series just because it was just such a dominant fashion. But I'll give my shout out to my boy Brissy right here. Had a phenomenal series on the Volley Bear.
Thank you.
A lot of solo kills, so good chip, brother. And
yeah,
that's all I got.
Well, I would say I would have had a couple more if it weren't for Gawr coming up and taking a couple of them with
No,
Space
kills.
Walrus at
We're
like
just
2 HP.
securing the kill. Securing the kill.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I know that they had a sub. They did not have OT Gator in the jungle this series, so they brought in Asteria. Now, my big concern with it was putting Asteria on champs like Ivern, and then I mean the Vi pick was good, but putting him on Ivern first game of the series was interesting because I think with the lack of prio in the lanes, I would have thought you would have wanted a little bit more of an aggressive jungler to maybe not allow Gawr to take over as much control as he did. Um, but I mean, I can't really fault him for that. I think my matchup top lane with Volibear and Udyr was good. Give us a lot of control in the top lane, and just never saw. And I say this again every week. Never saw is like the
Yeah,
best
they
player I've ever seen.
They played crazy this
Yeah,
series, but it was
she's
just
unreal.
dancing on. They were just dancing on them.
Yeah,
just
mhm.
Yeah.
The Ari,
absolute
23
styling.
and 1 or something like that
dude,
is
the
insane.
The 23 kill
I
Ari.
think it's the highest strand score. Yeah, it was like 96.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was high. It was very high.
Yeah, Ryan's crying right now, but
yeah, I mean, yeah, but yeah, I mean, there really isn't much to say about the series. I think our whole team played really well. It was really good to see us work around some new champions because I know Neversaw's been working on the Ari. Obviously, I step off the Poppy or the Ornn to play Volibear, which was good. But again, I think these last couple weeks are going to be a little bit more experimental for some teams to test some things out for playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So looking at the remaining schedule of these two teams, so Gawr's kindergarten class plays Roblins Goblins and then a new SMD. So I mean, Roblins Goblins, like I said, this is definitely match of the week. It's definitely gonna
for
be
sure.
It's gonna be a very big decider for playoffs. Because we may see someone jump ahead in the standings, whether it be Gawr's kindergarten class or Roblins Goblins, because both these teams are tied for first right now, so sitting at 15 points. So we'll see.
It's an exciting one.
Yeah,
it'll be fun.
I'm interested to see.
I hope it's close.
I think it'll be close. I think it'll be a 2-1.
It should. But you always say that about the series that should be close, and they end up being like crazy stomps.
It's like a total stomp or something like that. It's like, this is a close series. Oh no, it was a complete stomp. Oh.
I think apart from the mid lane, I guess mid lane and bot lane. Mid lane you got to give it to GKC. Obviously you got Neversaw, and bot lane you have to give it to Roblins Goblins with Rob and Dean.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of it'll come down to how those lanes go, because I think top and jungle are pretty evenly matched.
And I don't want to discredit Heiko and Sausage House, because we've seen some
absolutely not
really good performances by both of them. So we'll see if they can do something like that to Roblins Goblins bot lane. Once again, they will have Dean back, so we will see what happens.
Depends on what side of the coin you flip for Heiko. If you get a good flip, hey, series looks pretty good all of a sudden.
He's like 3-0 heading out of lane, and he's like, "Yep, all right, guys, I'm ready to carry."
Hey,
but
that's how he plays, and I respect it.
That is true. And then the Krusty Trap, the Bendables this week, and then the Academy that are next week. It's not an easy schedule. The Bendables, once again, TKT. I mean, now mathematically they're not eliminated from playoffs. However, they have to win out. So
yeah, they have to 2-0.
They have to 2-0 both games.
The Bendables can't win a game, and then Savage Mongoose can't win a game.
No, so Savage Mongoose. So even if they do tie with Savage Mongoose, SMD has the head-to-head. So basically, they need to beat the Bendables.
And Bendables can't win.
And they can't win either of their one game from their next two series.
This feels like DPT last season.
Yeah, you're
banking on a team, on a team to lose.
However, I don't think it's very likely that this team will make it, but we'll see.
I'm not feeling it either. I'm not gonna lie.
But we'll go over the rest of the teams here in a bit. But let's head on to our fourth series. Once again, very not exciting match, very one-sided. Elend Entourage versus Fraud Watch. I don't really have a comment for the series. Once again, it's one of the top teams playing against the 10th place team. I will say, Berto had a nasty steal in the game.
He did.
We'll applaud him for that. So well done, Mr. Berto. But otherwise, I don't really have a whole lot to say about the series, just because it's. I mean, everyone expected this to be a stomp, and it was. So.
I do have something that I want to say about the series.
Right. Let's hear
So, we've been playing as a 4-man roster for about 3 or 4 weeks now. And we had a decision made where we no longer have the support we were with. So, and we picked up a new guy named Vince. If you watch that game back, I get that it's the 10th place team. Vince is absolutely insane. I mean, that man cannot miss a hook. I'm really excited to see what Vince does. I mean, this is just like, this is a Hail Mary for us, but like, dude, it's so good playing with the support that like is actively talking to me and telling me what to do instead of the other way around, you know, like that's my experience playing with supports throughout all of my competitive time. So it's just such a refreshing thing, and Vince played wonderfully these games, so I think you all got to watch out for Vince.
All right.
Do not doubt it.
We will keep an eye out on Vince, another rookie. So we will see what goes on. But Elend Entourage and Fraud Watch's remaining schedule. I mean, we'll just clear Fraud Watch real quick. They're playing the Academy and the Beaver Brigade. So, I mean, the Academy.
Good luck.
It's going to be a tough one. So Fraud Watch is actually mathematically unable to make playoffs. They cannot make playoffs at all. So.
You know, it's going to be funny when they win a series randomly right here.
It would be funny if Beaver Brigade just was like, "Hey guys, we can't move anywhere more on the standings, so we'll just let
give Fraud Watch this one."
Yeah, we'll just give Fraud Watch this one, and then the whole server just celebrates and Fraud Watches win. It's like, yeah, let's go,
yeah,
popping
5-check win finally.
It's the guy with the metal in his mouth popping champagne.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Gets the medal and everything. Yeah, that'd be awesome. But I mean, I don't really see the Academy letting them win just because they're actually so close to first, and it's a very close race.
Yep.
So we'll see what they do, and then Elend Entourage, they actually have a semi difficult schedule with the Beaver Brigade, the hot Beaver Brigade, I should say.
Yep.
So we'll see how they match up into Elend's Entourage. Very excited for this match. I think this is another match to watch. And then finally, Crayola Consumer. So we'll see how Injustice faces Owen in the top lane. How Array and Vince, that's your new support, face off.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot his name already.
Yep, I almost did. And face off against Red Ranger and BBW Slimer. So, I mean, I'm really excited about 2 games this week. Elend's Entourage versus Beaver Brigade. A really hot team against one of the better teams.
They're very similar teams too.
Yeah.
Very like almost top to bottom. It's like the same makeup, but like slightly allocated differently.
Yeah, and I think when Soulpan was talking, I can't remember who.
The evil teams.
Yeah, I think this is one of those evil team matches.
We should have written these down.
I should have.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll message Soulpan and we'll get it in for next week.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. But yeah, that's our evil clones right there. We're of course the good guys, of course, because
everybody wants to be the good guy.
I can actually see Beaver Brigade actually being the bad guys. Actually,
yeah, true.
If you see what they type in the general chat, at least no, like 3/5 of them are like always saying something crazy in the general chat. Yep. But I like that. It makes the. I feel like that's why it's partly exciting, because there's real tension there.
Yep, absolutely.
But yeah, let's move on to our last series, the Academy versus the Bendables. So first off, we saw X-Ray and Swanee swap. We had X-Ray see him playing the top lane, and we saw Sunny. I like how I'm talking about myself in the third person.
Mhm,
And
of
then
course.
Sunny swap into the jungle, and I mean, it was actually a totally different academy. You know, X-Ray was playing those tanks, what he's known for, weak side top lane, and Sunny was just able to just do whatever he wanted. Like he just was like, "Hey, I'm going in here," and he just had he was playing extremely well on his picks. I think he played the Poppy and then the Viego. That's what he played. That's right. So I mean, a really good series. Game one. I don't know if you guys saw game one at all, but
Yeah,
the
it was crazy.
The Bendables were trying to outcook PPP. Um,
I would say they did outcook him. It just
um,
didn't. It got burnt. That's the issue.
so
The fire alarm went off.
I don't know if I would say it because PPP, what he does is he'll cook something up and then he'll win on it. So so they were like, hey, here's this dish we've been working on, and then the head chef was like, this is disgusting, get this out of my face, and then threw it all away. So I mean,
Yeah, I think you're kind of. I personally wouldn't want to play with Teemo Casio bot lane, but if I'm being really fair to them, y'all got a random cheese on him, and it ruined Murph's game at level 1. So
I mean,
that is on them for not knowing that TF has gold card at level 1. But
so I mean,
it's like I don't know why they're making that error. It's bad on paper, but like they didn't get a real fair chance to play the lane at all.
yeah, I mean, like I said, this is actually probably Academy's toughest matchup from the remaining schedule. So I mean, them getting a 2-0 really helps them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Bendables.
I thought it would be a lot closer.
No, I expected this actually. I expected this.
Well, once the Sunny swap came in, it made a lot more sense why the way it went, the way it did.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think this is something we probably should have done in some other series. But I mean, we got it to work, and now we're probably gonna stick with it until playoffs.
yeah, and then playoffs will come, and you'll just go back to jungle for some reason, right?
Yep, totally. Nothing will happen or anything like that. Not
For sure.
foreshadowing or anything. But let's look at the remaining schedule for these two teams. So starting off, the Bendables, TKT, and then Roblins Goblins. I mean, TKT probably gonna be a little one-sided. I mean, maybe Silva can carry this game. It's gonna be challenging, especially with Pyrosis in the game and OT Gator. Or no, this is the wrong team. Who's in the jungle for this team? I don't remember.
Savachka.
Savachka, yep. Excuse me.
And they're trying. They're playing
Dandy.
pretty
I
decently.
forgot about Dandy. I'm gonna get messaged after this.
Yeah, I had a point about that actually. I was like, I think the series, Dandy and Pyrosis really underperformed, unfortunately. So I mean, they're playing. He's playing it mid too easy, but Dandy underperforming really did make the game a lot harder for them as well.
Okay, here's the thing. All right, now this is my piece since I played it.
Mm-hmm.
Dandy trolled by picking his top laner in the first phase. This is my hot take. Just because of how top lane is, it's very matchup based. So with me getting a counter pick and then not banning any of my champions in the second round of bans in the game 2, I'm just like, okay, I just get to have a free matchup. I played the Gragas. I mean, they first picked Renekton, or sorry, they went Rel Renekton, so I just got a free Born game. Because he basically never kills me in lane. And then game 2, I just get to play Gragas, and I just sit there and I just farm with Q. I solo killed him. That was crazy. I was not expecting him to solo kill him.
Yeah, your entire team was like, "Whoa, he's dead on our screen."
I was like, hey guys, top lane's gonna be really boring. I'm just gonna farm, and they were like, okay. And so they just left me alone. And then Dandy ghost in. I live with like 1 HP, and I just E under tower, and he's like, no, I'm gonna get this kill, and he chases after me, but he can't catch up. So I'm like, okay. And
Free kill.
Free kill.
Plus 300.
Plus 300. And so yeah, he was. I think like.
I think he might have egoed you a little with the picking and the Renekton blind, and I think that might have also contributed to the downfall for sure.
I think the other thing is like, people don't realize. So like, my rank is only gold 2, but I'm actually an emerald player. I just don't play the game as much anymore. So it's like people like see me and they're like, oh, I'm better than this guy who only plays tanks. It's like, yeah, I only play tanks, but I play them exceptionally well. So it's like double-edged sword.
True.
They definitely gave you what you were comfortable on.
That was true. They're scared of mid too easy.
Don't blame him. He plays pretty well, man.
So
he's a pretty good guy. Pretty powerful player.
But I mean, like you said, Dandy underperformed this series. I mean, Pyros is. I mean, I want to say he underperformed, but he's also playing against mid too easy. The number 1 mid laner.
I would agree, but like if you're getting solo killed like 3 or 4 times, like that's kind of like a bad look. I think that's like, and it's not like game ruining per se, but like you don't want to give those to like their best player. You don't want to like constantly feed the best player. Like when we played Rob Goblins, we were killing them bot lane, and then what do? We give Sulpan 600 gold bounty to Rob, and then we lost. You know what I mean?
That is true.
Giving him 3 kills. That's just it's just not a part of the game plan. I don't think it was part of the game plan, but you know.
I mean, you know what's funny is mid too easy actually said, it's like, hey, this is actually a really bad matchup for me, so I don't expect to win this. And then he solo killed him 4 times, and I was like, never mind. This guy's bad. So
hey, leave the pie slander at home.
Listen, I'm just quoting mid too easy, alright?
I'm sure when he comes onto the climb, he can say that himself, you know.
No
anyways, and once again, just covering the academy real quick, they have literally the easiest schedule. I mean, they're playing 10th and 9th place. So this
should be a straight shot to first place.
In theory, if everything goes according to play, there should be a free 6 points for the academy. So now the question is how the rest of the teams will shape out. Will Gawr or the Goblins Roblins win out? Will they get 6 points and tie with them, or will they not? Because if the academy ties with one of these 2 teams, they actually lose head-to-head with both of them. So the academy is actually 3rd right now, technically.
That might be kind of a blessing in disguise randomly, you know, because then you're playing against the 6th seed, which you match really great into. Sure, playing 1 into 8 is great, but like it's probably not that bad for you guys anyways, you know.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I think that was gonna wrap up our games for week 7.
Some quick predictions.
No, not quick predictions. We got a little bit more time.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and look at our predictions for week 8. I have week 7 on the thing. Let me change that real quick. Week 8. There we go. All right. So, just looking at the standings, X-Ray caught up this week. I got 4. I got 4 correct this week. If only Roblins Goblins.
Yeah, but this Brizzy guy is kind of running away with it.
X-Ray took a page out of my book and swapped over to the Beaver Brigade pick. Yes, hopefully,
we will. It's.
He was really hoping lightning strikes twice.
I'm gonna be honest.
Same location.
There's a lot of cooks a lot of really good games this week. So I mean, let's just start off with the 2 big ones, or let's just say the 3 top ones. So CC versus SMD. I mean, this one's gonna be really good. I mean, Owen versus RP3. Odysseus versus Foster, Nico, whoever it is. But I think this is going to be a good series. So 3 of us went with CC, and then the other 2 went with SMD. I mean, I think every pick is vile. I said vi, like I don't know what I'm saying. Each of these picks are valid. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no wrong way to go this way. So I'm okay with this. Let's move on to GKC versus GKC versus Rob's Goblins. Two of us, myself and Brissy. Well, I mean, Brissy's pretty biased, but
Yep.
I actually went with GKC on this one, because I honestly think the way Roblins Goblins have been looking right now, I feel like they're kind of shaky and they're not sure. Like, I feel like there's just too many voices on Roblins Goblins right now. With
Oh, I don't know. They deafen quite a bit, man. I don't know.
Yeah,
You mean
I
not
mean-
enough?
yeah, they may not have enough voices or too many. Who knows? Just with Ryan, Rob, and Dean, there's a lot of different voices on this team and a lot of different play styles. So we'll see how they can shape up. But honestly, I think right now GKC has been on a hot streak. So we'll see how they do. I honestly do agree. I think this is a 2-1 series though, for sure.
Yeah. I kind of disagree with the downwards trajectory point. I think you have to put some nuance into the last Rob Goblins game. I mean, it was a struggle for them to schedule that game, and then at the end of the day, they played at maybe 70% power. So, but I will concede that the Beavers really did get to them. But it's better to lose now than it is to in the playoffs. They have more time to actually take those losses and learn from them. So I think saying that they're just gonna like roll downhill, hit their head and just lose, it's just like I think that's not giving enough credit to the stellar players that they have on the team.
Fair enough. But let's move on to game 3. I think this one, I think I may be cooking, but I think this is a good
come
cook.
on.
All
No,
right,
that's
Come
Beaver
on.
Brigade versus Elend's Entourage. I mean, hey, listen, Elend's Entourage.
You're cooking up a lead for Brissy. That's what
Yeah.
you're cooking.
Elend's Entourage, good team. But man, Beaver Brigade, I've been on a hot streak, so I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna invest in the Beaver Brigade stocks.
I think you're just our biggest hater, to be
Yeah,
honest.
I
I've
think
picked you almost every week.
when it comes down to this
the
series,
2 weeks I haven't picked you is my series and this series. Okay.
You didn't pick us for the Rob Goblin series. I don't think so, at least.
I think for this series specifically, it just comes down to bot
Yeah.
lane performance.
Gonna
I think it's a wash across top lane, jungle, and mid lane. But when it comes down to bot lane, it's just gonna be how Thim and Barbecue Leona perform and how Array and Vince perform. Because I think if it is exactly how I say and it's a wash across the rest of the map, whichever bot lane gets the lead, I think they win the game.
So for anyone that was wondering, I did pick Elend's Entourage versus
He did.
Beaver.
It's true.
Roblins Goblins, and I'm
I'll concede my point.
so therefore I've only picked.
I do think you're hating, though,
twice.
here.
Okay.
I will say, X-Ray,
Twice.
you're running out of time to catch up. You're running out of time, buddy.
I don't think I can catch up. Unfortunately, I basically need Brissy just to get all the wrong predictions.
So you're just going to vote against them and see what happens?
No, because I don't want to get last. Because I don't want. I don't want
a
picture of Brissy
big old
behind
picture
me.
of me.
I mean, listen. I mean, I would actually love a picture of Brissy behind me, but it'd be a little weird.
I'm
When I
gonna
have a
be
girl over.
setting up a Patreon for anybody who wants a picture.
Yeah, we could get a Kickstarter going for that. I'll gladly contribute. I'll be the #1 investor. I'll be a shark or a whale, whatever it is.
Fantastic.
It's gonna be $1,000.
But yeah, about this series, if I'm not discounting the Beavers. I really do think they have been playing phenomenally, and they've had a lot of glow ups across the map. And I really do love to see them form together as a team and finally find their identity. But we're just getting started, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
We got Vince. Y'all, I don't think y'all actually understand how cracked Vince is. This man can speak 2 languages. He calls out in 2 languages. This man doesn't miss. I've never seen a support player at this rank have that good of mechanics. And I really do think it's going to be a harder series than I'm making it out to be. But I really do just have that much faith in my team and myself because I'm performing almost every series, Well, while their bot lane has not performed every single series.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think
Fair enough.
that's the kicker, the deciding factor for this series, in my opinion.
I will give them 100% props. Dunk versus Injustice will be a fantastic matchup.
Mm-hmm.
I do think Injustice has had a few struggle games, and that might have been because of how we played as a team. But I think this will be a great matchup for him to show himself as one of the best tops in the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I would honestly rank him fourth. I mean, with how RP3 has been playing, I can definitely see him being third right now, in the
Mhm.
rankings. So, I mean, I definitely think he's top four at least, maybe top three for Injustice.
And he's he's the glue that holds my team together for sure. I mean, that man is
Such a good
really
mental, such a good mental. It's probably
You love
for sure.
Injustice.
it's probably fatherhood. I'm not gonna
Hmm.
lie. I'm pretty sure it's fatherhood. He's got to have a lot of patience with his kids, so
Oh
that's
yeah, I
that's
bet.
that's probably why. But let's
Wait,
move on to our next series. TKT versus the Bendables. There's
one of these things are not like the
one of
other.
these are a bit different, and Sonny, I asked him, hey, why'd you pick this? And he said, and I quote, I don't even know who even know what that is, but the Bendable were pretty bad. End
The
quote.
bendable.
Okay.
I like
So,
it. The
um,
bendable.
so I mean, oh, sorry. He also told me to say, I picked SMD because I love my boy Casey.
You mean TKT?
Nope. SMD.
SMD.
Yep.
That's why
He's
he
talking
picked
about the
SMD.
up higher. Yep. Up higher.
So
Oh, okay.
for the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
first series, but yeah.
True.
So I mean, who knows? Maybe it's a cook. Maybe it's not a cook. Maybe he's just like
Hey, they
I'm.
gotta win now if they want playoffs, so
So I mean,
might as well be right now.
could be right now. Maybe they're just like, oh, you're right. Yeah, we're actually not silver solo lanes. We're actually challenger silver solo laners. And
Wouldn't
they
that be
and they
nice?
turn it on right now. But yeah, I mean, Bendables, I'm very favored, I would say, into this matchup. So we will see.
Hmm.
And then
They just need one game.
they 2 games.
No, they just need one game to
Bendables.
make playoffs.
Yeah. So yes, if Bendables win one game, just one game, they are we have locked playoffs. We know what teams are going to be in playoffs, and now it's just all about seeding. So,
Hmm.
but let's look at our final series. This will be a quick one because it's Fraud Watch versus the Academy, and everyone picked the Academy. Everyone
You know, I really did want to pick Fraud Watch. I really
Hard
did.
listen.
to-
I will say the Academy will pass the vibe check, so I can guarantee you
was-
that.
It was
If it
very
was to
hard
be a
bet against
random
them.
series, yeah, it is. It's like I can't deny what's in front of me, but if there was to be like some random wrench thrown in, it would be that one, and I would kind of be amused, to be honest.
What do you mean by that?
It's just because y'all have the path to number one. It's laid out in front of you, and then the 10th place team just takes a game. That would just be funny.
That actually would be kind of funny, actually. So
Don't let it happen.
that will wrap up this episode of The Climb. Thank you, Ray. Got any hot takes before we end this episode?
I really should have prepped
Should-
this a little better.
Should have prepped it.
I'm trying to think. Give me one hot
Let's see.
second.
Let's see. I mean, you're playing Beaver Brigade, so do you want to say anything to Beaver Brigade?
What else can I say that besides like they're just worse us?
They're just worse.
I mean, they have a wonderful top lane. They have a wonderful jungler. They have a support and they have an AD carry.
Support and they have an 80 carry. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you, Array, once again for joining us on this episode of The Climb.
Thank you.
again, Brissy, for joining me
Absolutely.
back on
The GOAT.
back on the desk, and I have been X-Ray. I'm here every week. So thank you all for stopping by, and we will see you all next week.